Most people over 40 look at their bank accounts and think, well, this is it. It's not that they didn't try. They worked hard, climbed the corporate ladder, saved a bit, maybe even tried a side hustle. Yet somehow wealth feels distant. Let me tell you why. The first trap is what I call this salary security illusion. Take Mark, 45, a reliable accountant. Every month, the paycheck comes in, bills get paid, life moves along. Sounds safe, right? But here's the thing. Mark's life depends entirely on that one income. Lose the job tomorrow, and the safety net evaporates. Contrast that with Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos in their early careers. Elon didn't stick to a cushy paycheck forever. He risked time, money, and sanity building ventures that had no guaranteed return. Bezos didn't wait for a perfect moment. He left a secure Wall Street job to start an online bookstore, Amazon. And here's the kicker. Most people are terrified of risk because they think stability equals safety. It doesn't. Real safety is having multiple streams of income, investments compounding, and assets working for you. Now, let's talk time, the silent killer or secret weapon. Ethan, 46, always said, I'll start investing when I have more money. The years passed. Meanwhile, someone who invested $50 a month at 25, that same $50 could now be tens of thousands thanks to compounding. Warren Buffett started investing at 11. By 30, he was already a millionaire. Delay is deadly. The math doesn't lie. Every year you wait, the gap grows wider. Then comes risk aversion creeping in with age. David, 48, has responsibilities, bills, maybe a mortgage. When a potential investment opportunity comes up, fear takes the wheel. What if I lose? So he doesn't act. Meanwhile, billionaires and millionaires embrace calculated risk. Even Bill Gates had multiple failures before Microsoft became a giant. Risk is the currency of growth. Avoid it, and you're trapped in stagnation. And lifestyle inflation. Brian makes $80,000 today. 10 years ago, he made $50,000. He upgraded his car, took a bigger mortgage, and now he's comfortable. But comfort doesn't grow wealth, it eats it. The average millionaire in the U.S. lives on 70% of their income, not 100%. Control your lifestyle, and you control the outcome. Here's a little humor for reality's sake. Most people treat money like a Netflix subscription, pay in, binge life, then wonder why the next season of Wealth never drops. There's also emotional spending, a silent drain. Every small splurge feels harmless, but over decades, it's thousands or even hundreds of thousands lost. Take a simple $20 daily coffee habit. Over 20 years, that's nearly $150,000. Yes, caffeine literally costs a small fortune. Data backs this up. A recent Federal Reserve survey showed that nearly 60% of Americans over 40 have less than $50,000 saved for retirement. Meanwhile, billionaires like Mark Cuban emphasize early and consistent investing. He started young, reinvested profits, and let compounding do the heavy lifting. Now, mindset matters more than money. Most people say, I'm too late. But it's never too late to change patterns. The difference is seeing the patterns, acknowledging the gaps, and taking deliberate action. Think about someone like Chris Gardner, who went from homelessness to millionaire status before 40. Or Howard Schultz, who grew Starbucks from a small Seattle coffee shop to a global empire. None of them waited for the perfect moment. They took calculated risks, stayed persistent, and learned from failures. And here's a fun, relatable fact. According to a study by Fidelity, people who invest consistently, even small amounts, are 4x more likely to build significant wealth by retirement than those who wait to catch up later. The hidden patterns are clear. Relying solely on salary, waiting too long to invest, avoiding calculated risk, allowing lifestyle inflation, reacting emotionally instead of planning strategically. Break these patterns and you change everything. Because in the end, wealth isn't about luck. It isn't about starting early or having perfect timing. It's about decisions, patterns, and action repeated consistently over time. It's about seeing opportunities, taking informed risks, and letting time do its magic. It's about finally realizing most people aren't broke. They're just following the wrong patterns. And the good news? Patterns can change. At 40, 50, even 60, you can shift the trajectory if you start now. So the question isn't, can you build wealth after 40? The real question is, will you break the patterns that have been holding you back? Because if you do, everything changes. Now let's talk about investing late and why it silently kills wealth potential. Ethan, 46, kept saying, "I'll start investing when I have more money." Sound familiar? That's the classic trap. Life gets busy, bills pile up, and the perfect moment never arrives. Meanwhile, someone who invested $50 a month at 25, that same $50 could now be worth tens of thousands, thanks to the magic of compounding. Even modest investments over time have exponential power. Warren Buffett started investing at 11, and by 30, he was already a millionaire. Waiting doesn't just delay growth. It multiplies missed opportunities. Fear is a huge factor too. David, 48, sees a chance to invest in a startup or fund a small business, but hesitation wins. What if I lose? He thinks. Meanwhile, billionaires like Elon Musk or Richard Branson embraced calculated risks and failed multiple times before hitting their massive wins. Risk isn't a monster. It's the pathway to real growth. Avoid it, and you're stuck in stagnation. Here's a bit of humor to drive it home. Delaying investments is like refusing to plant a tree because you're waiting for perfect weather. Meanwhile, someone else is already sitting in the shade of their $100,000 oak. Data backs this up. Fidelity research shows that people who invest consistently, even small amounts, are 4x more likely to retire wealthy than those who wait to catch up. The numbers don't lie. Time is the hidden asset most people ignore. Then there's financial education, or the lack of it. Most people think saving a paycheck is enough. It's not. Understanding taxes, compound interest, inflation, and risk is what separates millionaires from those stuck in good enough. Take Mark Cuban. He didn't just work hard. He constantly learned, adapted, and invested strategically. Knowledge compounds just like money. And let's talk side hustles. It's not just a buzzword. Side hustles create multiple income streams, which reduce dependency on a single salary. Even small side income, invested wisely, can snowball into a powerful wealth engine over a decade. Elon Musk didn't stop at PayPal. He diversified with SpaceX, Tesla, Solar City. Multiple streams multiplying his potential. Lifestyle creep is another sneaky trap. Brian earns more than he did 10 years ago, but upgraded his car, his house, and his habits in sync with income. Result? No real financial growth. A simple rule: earn more, spend less proportionally, invest the difference. It works. Even Jeff Bezos reportedly lives modestly compared to his wealth. And emotional spending, oh boy, is the silent killer. Every $20 latte, every impulse buy, feels harmless. Over 20 years, that's nearly $150,000 gone. That's the same as buying a small investment property, but instead, it's gone on temporary satisfaction. Here's the takeaway. It's never just about how much money you make. It's about when you start, how you invest, and how smartly you let it grow over time. Break the patterns. Start now. Invest consistently. Embrace calculated risk. Manage lifestyle inflation. And educate yourself. Because the difference between someone stuck at 40 and someone hitting real wealth at 50 often comes down to simple choices made consistently. By the time most people hit their mid-40s, something subtle starts to take hold. Fear of risk becomes the default. Take David, 48. He has responsibilities, bills, maybe a mortgage. A new opportunity comes up, a small investment, a chance to start a side business, or even a new skill that could increase his income. And his first thought is, what if I lose? That hesitation costs more than money. It costs time, growth, and freedom. Meanwhile, billionaires like Richard Branson or Oprah Winfrey didn't wait for perfect certainty. They calculated risks, acted, failed sometimes, and learned. That's how wealth multiplies. Let's talk lifestyle inflation because it's sneaky. Brian earns $80,000 now. 10 years ago, $50,000. He upgraded the car, took a bigger mortgage, and suddenly all the extra income is gone. The average millionaire in the U.S. lives on about 70% of their income, not 100%. It's not just about earning more, it's about keeping control. Now, here's a relatable truth. Most people spend money emotionally. Every little impulse feels harmless. A $20 latte, a new gadget, streaming subscriptions galore. Over 20 years, those small indulgences can total hundreds of thousands. Meanwhile, someone reinvesting that same money quietly builds assets. Even a small monthly habit, invested wisely, can snowball into serious wealth. Here's a fun fact. According to a Federal Reserve survey, almost 60% of Americans over 40 have less than $50,000 saved for retirement. That's not a crisis. It's a pattern repeating across decades. Reliance on one income, delayed investing, risk avoidance, lifestyle inflation, and emotional spending. So what's the solution? Change the patterns. Start small, but start now. Invest consistently. Take calculated risks. Control your lifestyle, not the other way around. Learn continuously. And for the love of sanity, don't let fear paralyze you. Because in the end, wealth isn't about luck. It isn't about age. It isn't even about how much you make. It's about decisions repeated over time, patterns you choose to follow or break starting today. Look at Chris Gardner, Howard Schultz, or even modern self-made millionaires like Mark Cuban. They weren't handed a perfect path. They acted, they risked, they learned, they persisted. Your time isn't gone. Your opportunity isn't gone. But the clock is ticking. And the patterns you adopt now will decide everything. So ask yourself, will you keep repeating the same habits, hoping things magically change? Or will you break the patterns and finally take control of your financial future? Because once you do, everything changes.